Hi everyone, it's Cal. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you back here. And if you're new here, I talk about the Kundalini and all things associated with it. And just for my subscribers, I want you to know I have like 15 of these shirts. These are pure merino wool sweaters. So I noticed the other day I'm wearing them in like every video. I thought, I better mention that. I really like them. I think they're actually long underwear shirts, but they're just so comfortable. One thing I want to mention too, when I was deep in the throes of Kundalini, I had to wear big, loose outfits because I could feel everything 1,000 times more than I did prior to going into meditation. So that's kind of interesting to note. Now I'm back to my regular tough old self. But when I was in meditation, everything, I was so attuned to everything, not just around me, other people, their thoughts. Feeling was telling me everything because when you get deep into meditation, you're deep in the throes with the mother. And it's not that you're attached to everything else, it's that you are attached to her and she is attached to everything else. So you become really cognizant of everything around you. Anyways, I'm sort of getting off track here. So today, I wanted to just quickly answer another question from a subscriber. I'm getting through all of them, so don't worry, I'm coming to you. It's just that I'm doing the shorter ones first and the longer ones after. So they're coming. So a subscriber asked about out-of-body experience, which is OBE for short. And the question is, I've never had any training on out-of-body experience, even though it's happened to me once. Is there a special effective technique of willing yourself out of the body? Okay, well, some of you know my background, so trauma is a very effective way of getting out of the body, and that's what happened to me as a small child. And so I was doing that on a regular basis. However, after meditation, I began it again. And yes, there is a way. And it is the HU breathing that will take you out of the body. I mentioned this in another video. It's the Kundalini breathing. And it is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth and making the sound of HU, HU. So it will eventually, you continue doing this, it will eventually release you from the body, whether or not you feel relief or deep compassion. It's not closely related to that. So remember, relief is the preamble to compassion, and compassion is deep resonance that will anchor you to the earth. So that's why you're making the sound of HU to build the feeling of relief, and you're using the memory using a memory to bring you the feeling of relief, and you're moving towards deep compassion. I mean, if you have a memory that is where you had a lot of deep compassion for humanity, and I mean deep compassion, then you might want to try that. However, the deep compassion I'm talking about is kind of like witnessing something horrific and then having deep, deep compassion for the person who was the perpetrator. So that's the kind of deep compassion I'm talking about. Okay, so because the deep resonance of compassion, again, will anchor you to the earth because you want to use her power to blast through the Kundalini. It's compassion that's giving you that's anchoring you, like I just said, this is the third time, but it's really vital to understand this, that the compassion is taking you through the process, the entire linking of your body, which is the entire Kundalini process, okay? Now, how does out-of-body experience help assist with the Kundalini awakening? It doesn't at all. Out-of-body experience does not assist with Kundalini awakening, not at all. I was doing more out of body after the Kundalini because I was curious about the other world, and the word hue kept popping me out of my body. And then I was willing it out after. I was, willing myself out. And I think it's I just want to point out that I was actually lying on the ground meditating. All my meditation has been lying on the ground because it's absolutely critical to get that spine straight. Absolutely critical. So, I was curious about the other world and what I could do in it and what would happen. And when you do pop out of the body, or at least what happened to me every single time, is an energy came and got me and shows me around. It's a very loving, vibratory force. So you've got guides and aids all the time. I didn't believe in any of this stuff until after I did it, and I found out that so much crazy sounding stuff out there is actually true. So yeah, the out-of-body experience serves no purpose other than teaching me to control my body through my mind. So that's getting out of my body. The next stage was controlling my body through my mind, through thoughts. So what does assist with the Kundalini, just to be absolutely 100% clear, is your practice. And as you evolve in your practice, in meditation, you will be able to do this. But first, you've got to win the crown, the nimbus. And leave the other stuff to last, because really it's least important. Kundalini is the major reason why you're here, and everything else is secondary. Adrian, for you, just knowing you and hearing about everything that you've been involved in over your life, you're probably at the late stage in meditation, and so I heavily suggest that you work on your prayer and mantra prior to meditation. This is really fundamental, because you've stabilized the practice and now you need to drop the octaves down, and Source is waiting for you and will help you, but you've got to ask. The mother force, the forces are always there kind of trying to help you. But when you state it, boom, everything changes. The Father Principle will answer you with words, and the Mother is always directing you subtly. So listen to feeling and ask, hear, and trust what comes forward. And just begin to try things out with them, because they want you. You are their child, and they are doing everything they can to get you back. In fact, I remember clearly, I thought about this after I saw your post, and I remember clearly I was talking to God all day long, and I was making statements, and I was asking for clarity, and I was really getting clear on my one sentence, on how I was going to position the question so that it would not be answered in any other way than the answer that I wanted. So really making the words clear, not using words that, mean other things, and really keeping it in simple language. And so nothing can be miscued. That was critical because I was always getting my questions answered, but it was answered in some other way. And I was going, no, that's not what I meant. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. So that's the way to deal with that. And just being clear. Then the next thing is, as you go deeper, you've got to be really, really brave, because when the octaves drop, that's when it really is going to start. And it's kind of like warming up the car. And for me, it happened over a short span of time, but it didn't happen in one meditation sitting. It happened over many, or a few, 3. And the number one thing is you have to be brave. You have to be willing to sacrifice your life. And this is not for the faint of heart. This is for the warrior. And you got to be strong, and you got to go in strong. And having met you, I know that you are. So yeah, I hope that these tips here helped. And I hope they helped everyone, actually. And other than that, I will see you all on the next video. Everybody have a great day. Bye for now.